Good afternoon. It is Friday, August 25th, 2017. I'm Stacy Petty. I am going to be doing this for a period of time as opposed to writing for simplicity. I guess you could say that as I'm too busy. You know, like today so I jerked around a bit today. Shh, no one's supposed to know that. I'm going to do these video logs, vlog me, Stacy, vlog me. Couple of people will understand what that one's about, for a period of time until I get back into writing. When I write, and I'd love to write, it takes too long because I'll write something and then I'll like edit it for the next day or two. Yeah. Kind of like how Ben Franklin edited the Declaration of Independence for Thomas Jefferson. So I'm going to do what I did last week. It is Friday. It's Ancient Aliens Marathon Friday. Except last week it actually wasn't on. I was all excited about it. Good for me. I DVR'd several episodes, and so that's not that big of a deal. But as I said last week, what do I like to do for Ancient Alien Marathons? I drink. Today's alcohol, which I have already started on because it is Friday, goat vodka. I love this vodka. It's a Colorado product. A second here. I'm snagging my husband's glasses because I don't have mine by me. Made from the finest local grains. Charcoal filtration, transforming it into the smoothest vodka in the Rockies. There you go. I cheat with his glasses all the time. We're both about the same age. He's 5 months older than I am, so we have the same eye problems. And I don't remember what the term was for the Russian cheers. I stick with my Irish and I say slancha. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good vodka. When a vodka doesn't taste like hairspray or rubbing alcohol, that's how you know it's good. So what happened this week? I made myself a little mini list. The problem is with my list, I can't read my own handwriting because I scribble it down. And I go back later. That's why I started making my grocery list on my phone. It's not my handwriting. I have horrible handwriting. I didn't get the cute girl handwriting gene. I have more like the doctor's 12-year-old boy handwriting gene. This is the things that I want to touch upon. Oh, I just figured out what this one said because I had something come to mind. I am a big fan of individuality, liberty, your right to be wrong. That's a very important thing to me. And Madison's notes on properties, and I need to find the correct link. I have it saved somewhere. I had to redo this computer here, and because my old one, just the one that I spent way too much money on, took a dump. And I will never spend too much money on a laptop again. I go through them. Doesn't matter if they're expensive or cheap. I just go through those laptops. It's not like I'm downloading porn. I don't know. There's something, I'm jinxed that way. Colin Kaepernick. Let's just talk about him here for a minute. And on the flip side of that, an alternative thought that is also scrutinized in the same way. Now, it is not my goal to change the world. It is not my goal to even change the mind of one person. I'm doing this, and I want to stick to writing because it's my own personal therapy, way to vent for my own frustrations. And I love processing any item and challenging myself and what my precepts are for that item and seeing if I have a different outcome. We'll talk about that. It's like I'm doing radio again. I'm making notes to myself. Okay, so Colin Kaepernick. Big hubbub about him and his kneeling thing, the NFL. Honestly, I don't give a shit about the NFL. I have no idea what this situation is. I've seen the headlines go through my Facebook feed talking about what the NFL is doing, what he's doing. It's my understanding that he's not as talented as an individual as he likes to think he is. Hey, not the first person that I've run across that thinks far too much of themselves. And this is where I stand. I entirely support 100% Colin Kaepernick and his kneeling. I am not a fan let me rephrase that. I am not a patriot. How's that for you here this evening? Patriot is a fluid word, and the interpretation of it is relevant to the individual who proclaims it, I guess you could say. I have turned into, as I've been getting older here, I'm turning more into an anti-war hippie, so to speak. And I like analyzing our combat here with American troops on the moral relevance of what it is that they're doing. I am not more free here today in this country, and I'm going to include a delightful little picture from The Onion that I ran across this week, or I should say I saw show up in my feed from John Cleave, that kind of really speaks volumes. It's meant as a joke, but that's the thing with The Onion and like South Park, is the stab and twist, so to speak, really brings it home sometimes. I don't have a problem with righteous military intervention. I think that we can look back at World War I, World War II, and we can see long term what the benefits were. I'm not more free in this country because of Afghanistan. I'm not more free in this country because of Iraq. And so when you see these narratives that float around about, well, you need to support our troops and you need to support our country, and because it's your freedom, it's your freedom, it's your freedom. You know what? Little girls in this country still can't sell lemonade on the street without being harassed by law enforcement. I'm sorry, it's not about freedom anymore. It's probably about, oh, hey, Lockheed Martin has a new contract that we need to fund, so let's go send American sons and daughters over there, spill their blood, spend American money on this unjustified war. And when Barack Obama was elected initially the first time, I mean, was I disappointed? Yeah, I was disappointed because I knew who he was. And the one thing that I told myself that brought me comfort was, well, you know what? At least we're going to pull out of those stupid wars now. Guess what? It's 2017. We are still involved in the Iraq War. Trump gave a speech. I didn't listen to it because, oh my God, I don't think I could do that. I asked my husband the other night, I'm like, oh my God, what is his State of the Union address going to be? I mean, that one you do have to drink through just to survive. State of the Union from Trump. Anyway, so it's my understanding they're going to continue the war in Afghanistan. And something about maybe they're raising the troop level or something. I don't know. I wasn't reading the news. I try not to read the news because it's too depressing. I try not to get too involved in that anymore. I do know it's the longest running war in U.S. history. And tell me where it's justified. Is somebody's, military wet dream? I don't know. It is entirely absurd that we are still involved in Afghanistan. So when I look at these wars and I judge nationality, patriotism, jingoism, as a Christian, and I say this first and foremost because I am trying to take a more serious direction about my long-term, whether, and it doesn't matter what your religion is, my personal preference, only because I was raised in it, perhaps if I was raised in a different faith, I'd be a different faith. I do like Jesus, and I try and call him Christ now because I feel like Jesus has been abused. The word is overused. The message of Christ is so very similar to other leaders and other faiths, and I'm trying to really adhere to the teachings of Christ and the point that he was trying to get through. And when I hear, so Colin Kaepernick has his reasons as to why he's doing what he's doing. I have kind of grown into this mindset of, well, wait a minute. I proclaim to be a Christian. I proclaim to have Christ as first in my life. And so if I'm stating a pledge, if I am pledging allegiance to something other than Christ my God, Christ my Lord, my Savior, the Christian Messiah, not the Jewish Messiah, Christian Messiah, is that a false idol? Am I placing others before God when I do that? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance. And I think it's very dangerous when we choose to place this country, because as a Christian, it's not necessarily supposed to be about here. I mean, yes, it is how you treat your fellow man, but it's after here, because that is why we're doing what we're doing, so we can sit at the side of Christ for eternity, correct? And it has really been hitting my heart. So I'm assuming this is from God, telling me that, Stacy, you need to be very cautious about how much value you put into your country. Countries are temporary. You look through time, guess what? Countries are temporary. They are constantly changing, constantly evolving. Do I love the mission of our founders? Yeah, because I'm probably one that defends them more than anyone else that is out there that is involved in these types of political circles. I love what they did. I love how they, they set aside the patriarchal, monarchy, because that's what it was for so long. And they promoted the idea of individual freedom, which is something that was relatively unheard of outside of Magna Carta. That's a whole other topic that we could go off on another day. So jumping back, because this is what I do, and like I said, these things like this make me miss doing the radio show from time to time, but I have reasons that I stopped, and they were all the right reasons. So Colin Kaepernick, him doing what he's doing, I get where he's coming from, and he feels like now if I remember correctly, because the vodka is starting to settle in, Colin Kaepernick was adopted by a wealthy family in the Silicon Valley or something. I'm going to guess that he grew up a privileged life, probably a lot more privileged than what my life was here in Brighton, Colorado. And if you refer to my last video recording, I praise Brighton, and I actually do love it. So I get that. And if he feels like that he can use his voice to bring these things to light, I don't have a problem with that. I have to support that. And it's not that I support it because I agree with it. I support it because he has the right to do it. But if you're one of the individuals that will support Colin Kaepernick and his right to kneel as opposed to standing, but you do not support the right of protest to the neo-Nazis, that makes you a hypocrite. You are intellectually dishonest. Wrongly attributed to Voltaire, like I said, I think the vodka kicked in. And so this is going to be paraphrased. It's not verbatim. I will defend to the death your right to say what you want to say. I will defend, so this is the Stacey Petty version. I will defend your right to be wrong. How's that one? That's the 21st century paradigm of that one, huh? I had lunch with a dear friend this week, and he was, and I adore this man. I take the front end of a Mack truck for this man. Mack truck. Vodka. Vote God. Vote God. Vote goat vodka. I actually should start being sponsored by these booze that I like to drink here when I do these podcasts, or whatever they're called these days, videocast. He's a Democrat. He believes in the intrusion. There's the word. The intrusion of the state to bring about equality. I don't think that can be done, because you cannot use law to change the mindset of an individual. You have to be persuasive. You have to witness, so to speak. You have to evangelize to that individual to try and get them to reach the point to understand that you have a right to think what you want to think. I have a right to think what I want to think. And if I want my right to think what I want to think, then you have to expect pay the same respect to that other individual that you disagree with. Actually, I haven't had that much. It's hitting me a little bit hard. It's good vodka. So I get it. And it's not me being dismissive to the U.S. military. I have family, including my own son, U.S. military. So it's not like I have necessarily any issues with that. I do, as a mother, I very much dislike our sons and daughters being sent into these situations that are meant to do whatever, fund whatever. It's not about our freedom here at home. My personal foreign military policy would be, you mess with us and my list of friends. Here's my list of friends. You see these? These are my friends. You mess with my list of friends, I'm going to send in drones with nukes, and I'm turning your country into a parking lot. That's it. In a story. Do it one time. Show that you mean what you say. It doesn't happen again. So it's troubling to me trying to find the... I don't even know what word to use because I've had too much vodka. Trying to find the reasoning behind not supporting Colin Kaepernick, but yet still at the same time saying, well, the neo-Nazis have a right to protest. Same thing. Colin Kaepernick has a right to protest. Neo-Nazis have a right to protest. Now, what does differentiate these individuals? So if you go and you read the First Amendment, it's the government, talking about free speech. And this is something that is so very common to see out and about when you're in different forums. People talk about, well, First Amendment, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, First Amendment is only applicable when it's coming from the government. The government is not allowed to shut you up, but the government's doing it here and there every day. I had a text conversation with my middle son living in Oregon this week, and he was complaining about some things. And I'm like, you give the government permission or you let someone speak for you in a contract negotiation, this is what happens. This is what your sacrifice is. So the NFL, like I said, I don't even know what their stance is on this. I see things in my feed. I don't bother to read it because I don't care. I don't care about the NFL, and I don't care about whatever decision they have here, because I'm not going to be watching it in any way. As a private entity, the NFL has a right to determine the terms of their employees' contracts. And when you agree to that, you have to adhere to that. So if anyone's losing their jobs because they want to kneel instead of stand, sorry. They're a private business. They get to do what they want to do. Go find a job someplace else. I'm sure Canada's looking, right? So I'm going to, I see here that I'm rambling again, 15 plus minutes. It's what I do. I'm going to try and find the link for Madison's Notes on Property that I want to share with you. My Facebook friends know that I share this religiously because I love it like crazy. I'm going to also post a picture that I saw from The Onion that was kind of, it was very telling. Sometimes you need those, slapstick, sarcastic moments to get a point across. I'm also going to post, here, based on my notes. There was a video that I had posted earlier this morning on Facebook, and I went ahead and I took it off because I had concerns that I was going to upset my more delicate friends, you could say. See, my outlook on life is very similar to this man that I had posted. He's an African-American male, and he was talking about a field trip that he went on as a third grader to a cotton field. It was hilarious. I laughed and I laughed and laughed. He has the gift of gab and the ability to tell a story. And my personal opinion on life, outside of being, optimistic, I'm a glasses half full type of gal. But I love mocking situations because I think it's healthy, and I think that so many people take life too seriously. There are moments that we need to be serious. I get it, that's fine, but I try not to take life too seriously because, as I say, one of my personal sayings is, all it takes is a car accident to have us wearing a bicycle helmet for the rest of our lives. I choose to live each day in life and in love and in joy. I am a humorous individual, and I love that. Just not, like I said, not taking life too seriously. So I'm going to try and find that. I'll get it linked here in the post that I'm doing for this website, Political Carrion. You can find me at politicalcarrion.com. Eventually, I'll start writing again. For now, like I said, I'm just going to stick with this video cast. And on YouTube, I guess, because I need to FTP something. I'll get that figured out. So this link to this video about this guy, this young man, it was just so funny. The Notes to Property by James Madison, and how important it is that you need ownership over your own brain. That's very important, and it is perilous here in this journey here that we have in this country. And also the picture from The Onion that I got a good laugh out of this week. So I hope you all have a blessed, safe weekend. I think my son and I are going to go hiking again, and I'm not in hiking shape because I've been cycling, and I've been cycling because we're in the process of getting ready to move, and my road cycling days will be done soon, so I'm trying to drink in as much road cycling as I can. They're two different kinds of fitness for me. They don't mesh, whatever that word is, because vodka, goat vodka. Give it a try. Peace. Safe journeys. Have a great weekend to all. Maybe I'll try and do another one of these at the beginning of the week.